guys, it's Maria Rothenberger, drmariarothenberger.com. This is week 11 of the Compassion series for 2020. I have skipped a week because coronavirus, which has essentially derailed the entire world. So just quickly, I would love to take a moment to acknowledge folks on the front lines, people who are really taking care of us and risking their own lives to take care of us. So just a minute, just a few seconds of acknowledging them. So this week's quote is from Carl Jung. He is a pretty prominent, or he was a very prominent psychiatrist, and I studied him a lot. And it's a quote that we've all heard, actually. The quote is, "What you resist persists." The quotes, by the way, are coming from this book, A Year of Living with More Compassion, and there are 52 quotes that I intend to use for 2020. I felt compelled and inspired to do this before the pandemic hit the USA strongly. But all of these practices, all of these quotes are really especially appropriate for right now. And that's one of my favorite things, honestly. If there is a good thing that has come out of this, is that more people are realizing that we are all one and we all need to take care of one another. And there's more outpouring of love and togetherness than I've seen in a long time. So I'm appreciative of that. And there's still like finger pointing and anger and hard things out there, hate being spread, but it's ameliorated more by the love and compassion that's out there. So I'm so grateful for that. And I'm going to be continuing this series because I just want to continue propelling the love and the compassion. So this week I had a really bad parenting moment. And if any of you parents can relate to me right now, just give me a thumbs up or say yup in the comments, because it was a rough parenting moment. I really made a big mistake. And instead of resisting by distracting or, just ignoring what had happened, I sat with the discomfort of the reality that I screwed up. And I was able to take this quote to heart and really practice it. I love how some of the examples they give in this book are, they say, some examples are obvious. Who hasn't noticed that trying to fall asleep can cause sleepless nights? Trying to stay calm can make us agitated. Has anybody ever said to you, dude, you need to just chill, and then it agitates you more? Yeah. The pious person who eschews sexual feelings only to be plagued by them. The kind person who denies angry feelings only to have them emerge as mysterious bodily pains or passive-aggressive behavior. Or the tough masculine guy who feels compelled to attack split-off aspects of himself that he sees in more sensitive types. All of these maladies involve experiential avoidance, trying to make uncomfortable feelings, sensations, or thoughts go away. Who wants to do that right now, right? Everyone. Let's all run away from the feels. Now, there is such a thing as feeling too many feels, which I actually talked about in a recent podcast. But I think that it's really important to notice the difference between feeling too many feelings, which usually involves picking up on other people's energy, rather than paying attention to your own stuff. What's happening inside me? And that's what this quote is about. Being aware of and hanging out with the discomfort for a minute rather than running away from it. Really, really compassionate work. It's amazing work to do that. So the compassion practice for the week is called Embracing Experience. Just like I did in my bathroom when I was questioning who the heck am I right now after that bad parenting choice, I sat with the experience. When we find ourselves wishing our mind would be other than it is, pushing away or distracting ourselves from something uncomfortable, we can simply ask, what am I resisting here? What am I resisting here? I certainly didn't want to admit that I screwed up, but I did, and I sat in that for a while in order to just acknowledge and be with it that I screwed up. And then you can determine what to do from there, right? But first is to experience it. It often helps to close our eyes and bring attention to sensations in the body. Oh, I had so much tightness all over my shoulders, and my jaw was tight. Oh, we can then breathe into these sensations and ask ourselves, what might this be? For me, it's worry. It's worry about my parents who are in their 70s and not very healthy, still working. They're still working, seeing people all day long during this coronavirus pandemic. It's scary. So that's where I was coming from. Sometimes an image or thought will come to mind that illuminates the resistance, letting us see what we're having difficulty accepting. True to the principle that what we resist persists, a gentle balance is needed. So we practice accepting our resistance as we begin to let it go. Fortunately, I didn't have any resistance. I leaned right into that discomfort, but most people resist what's happening inside, right? Somebody goes to, drink instead, and suddenly they feel worse, but temporarily they felt better. Some people eat too much or play video games too much or do these things to try to avoid what's happening inside. And if you really just take a moment, it doesn't take very long. If you just take a moment to be with what's happening inside you, not resist it, it's uncomfortable, but it tends to pass through you much quicker. So this week, pay attention to the fear, to the worry, to the anxiety, to the frustration, to the all of that that's happening inside of you. Be with it for a minute, hang out with it, have a cup of tea with it, and acknowledge it and get some illumination from where the source is, and you can begin to heal. Okay, ending with a deep breath. I will see you next week, and hoping that this week's practice finds you well.